Good evening, Cleveland and Columbus sports fans. You are live on the Show of the Land with a Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tonight, we are going to talk about the Guardians, who are still in first place in the AL Central. Then we will talk about the minor leagues. We'll talk about the Clippers and the Rubber Ducks and how they are doing. Then we will move on to the Columbus Crew. After the Crew, we have a little announcement about the Columbus Blue Jackets and what they are doing to honor Johnny and Matthew Goodrow. Then we will get into some college football, and we'll wrap up the show with the Browns Week 1 incoming. So stay right here with the Show of the Land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And here we are, guys. The Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Before we get into the fun stuff with the Guardians, the Crew, the college teams, Ohio State, Mount Union, Youngstown State, and John Carroll, and then the Browns, let's get a word from our sponsors. We're going to hear from Planet Jerky, Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, and Seal the Deal Wax Seals, as well as a little blurb about IE Sports Radio. So stay right here. And after these messages from our sponsors, we will be right back with the show.
IE Sports Radio fans, this show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, Single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
You are listening to the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And like the ad said, be sure to check out our sponsors, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. It's the best jerky out there, if you ask me. They have a bunch of flavors to choose from. You can go to planetjerky.net to place your orders. All orders over $50 get free shipping. So go check them out and check out Seal the Deal Wax Seals, the perfect finish to your invitations and gifts. Check them out on Instagram, and you can place your orders right on the IE Sports Radio website at iesportsradio.com/seal the deal wax seals. And of course, be sure to follow IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. You can just search IE Sports Radio and you will find us on all of those platforms. If you miss the live shows, you can catch the audio replay on all of these different there we go. Different options wherever you get your podcast. Check out the website for a bunch of different stuff. There's our blog, our Fans of the Month, our Hall of Fame, of course, our shop, where you can get some great IE Sports Radio merchandise, and you can check out my show page, and there's a nice little bio about me on there, and also the links to all of my past shows. You can follow the show at Show of the Land IE on X, and you can follow me personally at Believe Land Girl on X, Instagram, and Threads. I'm also on TikTok, and that is Jenn.BelieveLand, and that's Jen with 2 N's. So now let's get into it. First up is the Guardians, but before we do that, let's check out the chat. Shout out to Taryn Rodriguez. He says, "Good evening, Jen. Have an amazing show." Thank you, Taryn. Taryn is the host of Set Point, our volleyball show, and also the host of the SoCal Supreme Sports Show for all that is Southern California sports. He is also the co-host of 3 and Out College Edition, so you can check that show out on Saturdays. Set Point is usually on Mondays, but I believe this week it's on Wednesday. And the SoCal Supreme Sports Show is generally on Fridays. And he also says, amazing show, last show. Don't know if I said it, but here it is. Thank you so much, Taryn. That was a rough one. Glad I don't have to cover that too much today. I am going to speak on it a little bit, but not too much. But let's get into the Guardians. We have just a couple of roster updates. On Sunday, the Guardians activated pitcher Alex Cobb from the 15-day IL. You may recall he was out with a cracked fingernail on his pitching hand. So, yeah, he's back. And they recalled Kyle Manzardo from AAA Columbus as the rosters expand to 28 for the playoff push. So, congratulations to Kyle Manzardo making it back to the majors. Now for the weekend review. It's a short week since I just went live on Saturday. So we only have a couple of games, and actually I just noticed my notes are all screwed up. I have that the Guardians played the Pirates and the Royals on Monday. Pretty sure that didn't happen. Anyway, on Saturday they did play the Pirates and they ended up losing 3-0, but they came back on Sunday and won 6-1 over the Pirates, taking the series. So that was not too bad. And then yesterday, they started a series against the Kansas City Royals, and yesterday they won 4-2. Lane Thomas hit his first home run as a Guardian to give the Guardians the lead in the top of the fifth. Josh Naylor then later hit a 2-run home run, and with that recorded his 100th RBI for the season. It is his first career 100-plus RBI season, and he and Jose Ramirez are the first pair of Cleveland teammates to reach 100-plus RBIs each in a single season in franchise history. So congratulations to Josh and Jose. And Emmanuel Clase recorded save number 41. So he is keeping on pace. The Guardians' next games are 2 more against the Royals. They play tonight and tomorrow night. I believe both games are at 7:40 Eastern time. So that game will be here in about a little less than an hour and a half tonight. And then tonight, Tanner Bybee gets the start. So hopefully we can pull off another win. We shall see. And then they head off to LA to take on the Dodgers for a 3-game series. And then they will be in Chicago for a 3-game series against the White Sox. We will, of course, talk about those games more next week. Now let's talk about our minor league teams. The Clippers have not done so well since we last spoke. They went 1-2 since Saturday. They are currently in a series against Durham, and they are down to 3rd place, a half a game behind Nashville for 2nd place. So hopefully they can turn things around and get back into 2nd place. They only need to win 1, maybe 2, depending on how Nashville does. The Rubber Ducks, on the other hand, secured a playoff berth, and they are the only team in the Eastern League AA to clinch so far. They went 2-0 since Saturday, and they begin a series against Richmond tonight. They are still in 1st place, and they are 4.5 games over Erie. So that is fantastic. The Rubber Ducks are doing great. Hopefully Columbus can get back to winning. That is all I have for baseball since, I just went live on Saturday. So I'm going to take a short break. And when I come back, we will talk about the Columbus Crew and a little announcement that the Blue Jackets just made. So stay right here with the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I will be right back after this.
Are you a fan of Buffalo sports? Are you thinking of changing loyalties and becoming a Buffalo sports fan? Do you even know where Buffalo is on the map? Did you know Canada is closer to Buffalo than New York City? Welcome to the Buffalo Huddle, every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Patty Bax. This is a podcast designed for you, the passionate sports fan. I know you love your sports. Who doesn't? I cover Buffalo sports and so much more by bringing in the human elements. I call it Buffalo Sports with a Twist. Join me as we take a journey into the world of Buffalo sports. I guarantee you'll fall in love with Buffalo just like I did. Each week we start with an inspiration, question of the day, a Buffalo fun fact, and our weekly challenge to you, the listener. Come huddle up with me. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time for the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. As we say in Buffalo, go Bills!
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
Welcome back. You are listening to the Show of the Land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Now let's hit that chat room one more time. We have Ralph Calise joining. He says, good evening, Jenn B. Have a good show. See you in the AFC North football. Absolutely, Ralph. It is football season. Woohoo! Ralph is the host of the Yinzer Report for all that is Pittsburgh sports. So be sure to check out his show. He was actually on right before me at 5 p.m. Eastern. And he also says, hit that thumbs up like button for Jenn B. Thank you, Ralph. And shout out to DFW Sports Reps, a.k.a. It's Drewski for the Heart of Texas Sports Show, which is on Thursday, I want to say. Hold on. I don't know why I can't remember this. Wednesday. Sorry. He'll be on tomorrow night. So be sure to check him out for your Dallas sports. And of course, check out the Buffalo Huddle, which will be right after me, and then Philly Sports Talk right after them for your Buffalo and Philadelphia sports fixes. Now let's get into that Columbus Crew. They are currently in third place in the Eastern Conference. They are only 2 games behind Cincinnati FC for second place. And they will actually be taking Cincinnati on in 2 weeks. So after this coming week, it will be Hell Week once again. So go Crew. Have a couple more FIFA call-ups. Spoke about the first 2 on Saturday. So in addition to Mo Farsi and Cucho Hernandez, Steven Moreira for Cape Verde Islands, Nicholas Hagen for Guatemala and Patrick Schulte for the good old US of A have all been called up to represent their respective nations. So the crew will be a little shorthanded in the next couple of weeks. Saturday, the crew took on NYCFC. Prior to the national anthem, the crew held a moment of silence for the Gaudreau brothers. And then in the 13th minute, the fans held a moment of silence. 13 was Johnny's number with the Columbus Blue Jackets. So that was the significance there. And following the moment of silence, the crowd erupted in chants for saying CBJ and Johnny Hockey. So it was a really special moment there during the crew match. NYFC scored a goal at the 4-minute mark and again at the 86-minute mark. The crew scored Diego Rossi scored at the 17th minute. Max Arfston scored at the 58th minute. DeJuan Jones had a goal at 90 plus 3. And Jason Russell Rowe had a goal at 90 plus 9. Unfortunately, I was not able to watch this match, so I'm not sure why there was so much stoppage time. But it was pretty hot that day, so I have a feeling they had some cooling breaks. With Diego Rossi's goal at the 17th minute, he became the 5th crew player to record 10 goals and 10 assists in an MLS regular season. And Jones's goal at 90 plus 3 was his first MLS goal with the crew. As you can see there on the ticker, the crew won 4-2, and Diego Rossi was named man of the match. Have a few awards to talk about. DeJuan Jones's goal against NYCFC was named Goal of the Month for August. Diego Rossi was named Player of the Month for August. And both Diego Rossi and DeJuan Jones were named to the Team of the Match Day. Rossi to the starting 11 and DeJuan Jones to the bench. So congratulations to both Diego and DeJuan on their accomplishments. Next up, the crew will be taking on the Seattle Sounders on Saturday, the 7th. So hopefully they can notch another win and get to moving up and maybe overtaking Cincinnati before they even have to face Cincinnati. And then when they do face Cincinnati, hopefully they get that win too, and that gives them 3 more points on them. So fingers crossed. I mean, they're still well in the playoff bracket, well within the playoff bracket, but it would be nice to move up there. I mean, I don't think they have a chance of catching Inter Miami, but we'll see. You never know. It's a long season. There's still quite a few games left. So, and the crew actually have played the least amount of games out of the majority of MLS teams due to their interleague play in the Leagues Cup and the CONCACAF Championship Series. So they're at least 2 or 3 games behind most of the other teams. So fingers crossed. Now for the little bit of news I have about the Blue Jackets. They just announced right before I was getting ready to go live. So I just took a screenshot of the email that I got that they are holding a candlelight vigil for the Gaudreau brothers tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. and it will be on the Front Street Plaza outside of Nationwide Arena. So basically where the memorial is currently set up. So you can, if you're in Columbus and are able to make it, head on out there to a Nationwide Arena tomorrow around 7:30 and pay your respects to these 2 guys who lost their lives last week. And with that, I am going to take another short break. And when I come back, we will get into the football. So stay right here with the show of the land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And I will be right back after this.
Hello, ladies and sinners. Hello, sports fans around the world. Hello, IE Sports family. This is Cale Henderson, the host of IE Vegas, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio. If you folks are interested in sports in the Vegas area, if you're wanting to have a blast for 1 hour every Tuesday night from 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, this is a show built for the Vegas sports fans, where we feature the Las Vegas Raiders, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, the Las Vegas Aces, and the University of Las Vegas, Nevada Rebels. Hopefully, fingers crossed, MLB team coming soon. Either way, if you folks are looking to have a blast for 1 hour each and every week, tune in Tuesday, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you folks are interested in Vegas sports news, go to our Twitter at SinCities_IESR, and you can speak with me, the host, Cale Henderson, at Cale_Henderson on Twitter at any time. Be happy to reply. Always want to reach out to our fans. Again, the Sin City Sports Show, presented by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's good, everyone? It's Drosky, the host of Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. On this station, we cover everything in the Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas area. From we cover the Dallas Cowboys, the Dallas Stars, Dallas Mavericks, Dallas Wings, Texas Rangers, TCU, SMU, we cover it all right here every Wednesdays from 9 to 10 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you stay live with me on the Heart of Texas Sports on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Welcome back to the show of the land with Jenn B on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Before we get into the college football, shout out to Marcus Lewis Great, host of Gloves Off, our boxing show. You can catch him on Sundays. And now for some college football. First up, the Ohio State Buckeyes. So, the Buckeyes have 18 players named to the Senior Bowl watch list. So, real quick, I am going to put that up here. So, let's make that a little bit bigger. There we go. So, they have defensive lineman Tyleik Williams, wide receiver Emeka Egbuka, defensive lineman Ty Hamilton, running back Travion Henderson, defensive end JTT. I'm not going to say that last name because I just can't. Running back Quinshawn Judkins, defensive end Jack Sawyer, quarterback Will Howard, cornerback Denzel Burke, tight end G. Scott Jr., cornerback Davison Igbinosun. Wow, some of these guys have some names, don't they? Tight end Will Kekmerick, cornerback Jordan Hancock, offensive lineman Donovan Jackson, safety Lathan Ransom, offensive lineman Josh Fryer, linebacker Sonny Styles, and offensive lineman Josh Simmons. So, congratulations to those guys. Also, the Buckeyes named Will Howard QB1. Devin Brown is starting the season as QB2. We'll see if that changes, but for right now, he is QB2, and he did finish out the game against Akron because Ohio State won 52-6. A little bit of a butt kick in there. And their next game is next Saturday against Western Michigan. So probably another butt kicking, but it is what it is. What can you do? I did watch part of the game. I wasn't able to watch all of it because I had my show Saturday evening, so I had to get ready for my show. But I watched the first half. Akron's defense actually wasn't too bad. They actually did score first. It was Akron was winning 3-0 at one point. But obviously Ohio State took over, and that was that. So we'll see how things work out next week against Western Michigan, because Western Michigan gave Wisconsin a little bit of a headache this past weekend. So we'll see, but I expect they'll do just fine. Next is a Youngstown State. They are currently ranked 23 in FCS. They played number 5 Villanova last week and unfortunately lost 24-17. And this Saturday, they will be taking on Valparaiso. So go Penguins, kick some Valparaiso. I'm not even sure what they're called. Some Valparaiso butt. We also have, well, you may or may not recall, I said I'm only going to talk about the ranked teams this year. So next up is Mount Union. The Mount Union Purple Raiders are ranked number 5 in D3. Their first game will be Saturday against Ferrum. And their division rivals, the John Carroll Blue Streaks, are ranked 19. And they will be taking on number 3, UW Whitewater, on Saturday. The following week, Mount Union and John Carroll will be facing off. So that game will be very interesting to see. But got 2 ranked teams there in D3. So we'll keep an eye on how they're doing. John Carroll really came out of the blue last year. Blue Streaks came out of the blue. And had a decent record. I believe they finished the season at 8-2. So I think their only losses were to Mount Union. So we will definitely be keeping an eye on how John Carroll does, and if Mount Union can move up from number 5. They did lose their quarterback and their star wide receiver to being seniors last year. So we'll see how they fare this season with a new quarterback and a new star wide receiver, hopefully. But yeah, those, we'll be keeping an eye on those D3 schools. But as of right now, those are the only ranked schools in our area. Just Youngstown State, Mount Union, John Carroll, and of course the Ohio State Buckeyes. I mean, of course. Ohio State's always ranked, right? So let's get into the big guy football. Let's talk some Browns. All right. So the Browns. Whoops. We don't need John Carroll under the Browns. Um, the Browns announced today that they have signed a contract with Huntington Bank for naming rights. So Brown Stadium will, for the next 20 years, be called Huntington Bank Field. It will forever be Cleveland Browns Stadium to me. I don't care who their sponsor is or what they want to call it. It will always be Cleveland Browns Stadium. So, whatever. It is what it is, right? Now for the week 1 face off. We will be taking on Drewski's Dallas Cowboys in week 1 at Huntington Bank Field, aka Cleveland Browns Stadium. On Sunday, the Browns released their first unofficial depth chart. So we're going to share that. We're going to talk about it a little. Let's look at it. So, no big surprise. Wide receiver 1, Amari Cooper. Left tackle, they have Jedrick Wills listed. However, he has not practiced yet. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. He did pass his physical, and he has been taken off the PUP list, but hasn't practiced yet. So, we'll see if he starts. Left guard, Joel Bitonio. Center, Ethan Posick. Right guard, Wyatt Teller. Right tackle, currently listed as Jack Conklin, with DeJuan Jones as the backup there. But from what I've been hearing from the beat reporters, Jack Conklin has been practicing at left tackle. So we will see. We may have Jack Conklin and DeJuan Jones at the ends for this game. I'm not sure. We'll see. Tight end 1, David Njoku and Jordan Akins at tight end 2. QB 1, Deshaun Watson, no surprise there. Running back 1, Jerome Ford, with Nick Chubb still on the PUP list. And then Pierre Strong and Deontay Foreman. Wide receiver, Elijah Moore and Jerry Jeudy. So starting wide receivers are Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, and Jerry Jeudy. So no surprises there. Defensive end, we've got, of course, Myles Garrett. Defensive tackle, Dalvin Tomlinson and Shelby Harris. The other end, Zadarius Smith. Linebackers, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, Jordan Hicks, and Devin Bush. Cornerback, Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome. Greg Newsome's listed above Martin Emerson. That is interesting. Safety, Grant Delpit and Juan Thornhill. No surprises there. Special teams, no surprises there. Except punt returner Elijah Moore. That's interesting. That's a new one. He has not been listed on any of the previous depth charts as a punt returner. So that is very interesting right there. Kick return is Pierre Strong and Jerome Ford. No surprises there. So let's talk about my concerns. My concerns for this game are, number 1, left tackle and the offensive line as a whole. This is the first season without Bill Callahan at the reins. So I am interested to see how the offensive line does under Andy Dickerson, if there's any changes, how they handle the new offense that is being instituted. They've always been run first, and from the sounds of it, they are not going to be run first, which is probably good since Nick Chubb is not back. And they are going up against Micah Parsons. So I am a little concerned, especially with Judd Wills not practicing yet, what is going to happen at left tackle, who's going to be playing at left tackle, and if it's Jed Wills, is he ready? If it's not Jed Wills, how does the replacement hold up? I'm not concerned about DeJuan Jones at right tackle. So if Jack Conklin does start at left tackle and DeJuan Jones starts at right tackle, I'm not worried about that. He played the majority of last season at right tackle and he did very well. So I'm not worried about that, but I am a little concerned about the left side. Joe Batonio at left guard is not getting any younger. And Jack Conklin hasn't played left tackle since college. And James Hudson's not that great if he is the replacement. So, oof, a little scary there. My next concern is our running back depth with Nick Chubb still on the PUP list. Jerome Ford held his own last season once Nick Chubb went down, but with the offensive line struggles and the injuries, it wasn't the greatest showing. I am encouraged that they did bring Deontay Foreman back. He should add a little pop in there, especially for those short yardage downs and goal line attempts, because one thing Jerome Ford is not good at is the power run. So I'm a little concerned about what the running back situation is going to be like without Nick Chubb, but hopefully we will have him back in a couple of, or well, not a couple, but a few weeks. And then we won't have to worry about it anymore. My next concern is linebacker depth. We lost Anthony Walker and Sione Takitaki. The JOK does not concern me at all. I haven't seen anything from Jordan Hicks yet. He was hurt on and off throughout preseason, and if he played in any of the preseason games, it wasn't much because the starters hardly played at all. So, not sure what I think of him yet. And all I know of Devin Bush is what he's done elsewhere. I have heard that he has looked very good throughout preseason and training camp and stuff. So we will see. It's going to be interesting. And I believe they're going to have different roles than the linebackers had last year. Jim Schwartz is switching things up a little bit, given that we have more agile linebackers in there now. From what I understand, I believe Jordan Hicks will be wearing the green dot. I could be wrong. It could be Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, but I think it's going to be Jordan Hicks, but we'll find out for sure on Sunday, right? The strengths of this team are the wide receiver room, of course. We've got Amari Cooper. What more do you need? Well, and the tight ends. I guess I can throw the tight ends there too. David Njoku is coming off the best season of his career. Amari Cooper also coming off one of the best seasons of his career. And I'm interested to see how Jerry Jeudy fits in to this offense. And hopefully Elijah Moore takes a step forward. He was hurt on and off last season, so hopefully he's 100% healthy and he takes off. And I've been hearing good things about Cedric Tillman as well from a training camp and preseason. So hopefully he has fixed the issues that he had last season with route running and things of that nature that was pissing off the quarterbacks because he was never where he was supposed to be. Hopefully he has figured that out. And of course, the other strength is the defense. Aside from linebacker, I have zero concerns about the defense. There's not really a whole lot of changes, a couple of new defensive tackles, but they're backups, so no real changes to the starting lineup other than the linebackers. So I don't foresee any issues with the defense. I expect them to come out and play just as well, if not better, than last season. Second year under Jim Schwartz this year, so less of a learning curve and some new coaching on the defense as well. Some new position coaches to help change things up a little bit. Got some former players, and of course they've got Mike Vrabel as a consultant. So I expect the defense to be just as good, if not better, than last season. Expect Myles Garrett to have a career year as long as he can stay healthy. So no concerns there. I expect that the Browns will come out on top this game. It's in Cleveland. I don't even remember the last time the Browns had a home game the first week of the season. So I expect them to come out on top unless there's some significant issues with that offensive line. Or Deshaun Watson is playing scared because they didn't play him in preseason, which I don't understand. So it will be his first game action since coming back from the injury. So I guess I could have listed that as a concern as well. Not sure what to expect from Deshaun Watson. We really haven't seen much of him. So we will see. But I am encouraged that we have Jameis Winston on the sideline to help him. But yeah, I expect that the Browns will come out on top. I don't think it will be an overly high scoring game. The Browns defense is pretty good at 3 and outs, and like I said, I don't know what to really expect out of this offense. So if I had to put a score on it, I'm gonna go 20-13, maybe. So yeah, I don't think it's going to be overly high scoring. I think I think 20-13 might even be a little high. Might be more like 14-7 or 14-3 or 10-3 or 10-7 or something like that. I don't know. I mean, both defenses are pretty stout, and there's some question marks on both offenses. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll talk about it next Tuesday, what actually happens. But I mean, for now, I think the Browns have a slight advantage. But we'll see. But go Browns, right? Go Browns. But you know what? That is all I've got for today since I just went on Saturday. There's not a whole lot to cover. So I am going to cue that music. Thank you all for joining me on the show of the land. I missed this. We had some chats. Mikey Two Guns wants to know if Deshaun Watson is going to lead the Browns to the promised land this year. I sure hope so, Mikey. I've waited my whole damn life. So I sure hope so. I can't wait to see how they do this year. I mean, Myles Garrett promised Super Bowl, so we'll see. But anyway, thank you once again for joining me on the show of the land right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. You can catch me next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Next up is the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax for all of your Buffalo sports needs. So be sure to check her out. Be sure to follow the show at Show of the Land, IE on X. You can catch me at Believe Girl on X, IG, and Threads. Be sure to check out IESportsRadio.com and follow IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Thank you again. I appreciate you all, and I will catch you back here next Tuesday. Have a great evening.